Excelsior, everyone. Exodiafic here, ready to entertain you once again with another thrilling audiobook. Today we dive into What If Naruto Was a Metal Bender and Rizzed Korra Oneshot. A gripping one-shot that's sure to leave you on the edge of your seat. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button to show your support. Also, be sure to check the description for more details and to support the brilliant author behind this breathtaking masterpiece. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
Lin Beifong sighed as she walked through the dark underbelly of Republic City. She had just finished destroying Air Temple Island, and the weight of this entire day just crushed her. Lin decided to give alcohol a try. She heard it was good for depression, and she was very depressed. Her boyfriend had been cheating on her for months and decided to be with said girl. So in a fit of rage, she destroyed his home. Lin walked into a rundown bar in the bad part of the city and ordered herself their strongest drink. She would later black out and find herself naked in her apartment. Her pussy filled to the brim with cum. She would have washed it off, but her legs were tired. Whoever had done this had fucked her so hard she wasn't able to walk. Damn. As a bonus, she forgot all about Tenzin, her cheating son of a whore boyfriend. So Lin decided to sleep in that day. A few weeks later, she was feeling a bit under the weather, and some of her colleagues dragged her to the hospital. And it turns out she was pregnant. Well, shit. 19 years later. Ma'am, the Black Dragons have just been brought in, all of them, an officer said as he burst into her office. That's good news, Lin answered blankly, not even looking up from the paperwork she was doing. Is that all? But, ma'am, the Black Dragons have been the biggest crime syndicate in the whole Earth Kingdom. And they just went down. Yes, that is good news, Lin muttered. Now I have paperwork to do and you're disturbing me. Leave if you have nothing else to say. Yes, ma'am, the officer said as he began to walk out of her office. Oh, and next time you barge into my office without knocking, you're fired. Yes, ma'am, the officer yelped before he quickly left. Kind of hush, don't you think? A voice asked from the corner of the office. I just told him the truth. It's good news that the Black Dragons have been brought down, Lin said as she stood from her desk. The stranger chuckled as he approached her. Good news a crime syndicate is finally down, or that I'm here, the stranger said. Lin gave the stranger a blank look. He was decked in full armor, and his face was completely hidden by a helmet that was orange on one side and black on the other. 2 swords were strapped to his back. Don't ask questions you know the answer to. Now take off that mask so I can see your face, Lin growled out as the man chuckled again. Yes, Mom, the man said sarcastically as the helmet retracted, revealing a smiling young man with blue eyes and whisker-like marks on his cheeks. Hey, Ma, come here, baby, come give Mommy a big hug. The once serious chief police commissioner of Republic City smiled as her son engulfed her in a big hug. Mommy missed you so much, my little Naru. I missed you too, Naruto replied with a smile. I can't wait for us to catch you a pee. Me too, Lin muttered. Mommy is sorry she missed your birthday. Don't worry about it, we can celebrate tonight, Naruto said before he stiffened. Did you just grab my ass? Hair is a mess, and you've grown taller, Lin said as she pulled back and began trying. Damn it, Ma, my hair is supposed to be like that. It gives me a handsome roguelike look, Naruto said as he quickly stepped back. How about we spend the rest of the week together? That sound good? That sounds wonderful, Lin smiled before hugging her beloved son once more. I just hope nothing comes between us. Meanwhile, a certain avatar sneezed before quickly covering her mouth. Korra didn't want to be caught after all. Republic City, I can't wait, she giggled excitedly. Oh, look who finally came to work. Finally come to work, you sprit-damned slacker. If it isn't our resident idiots, Gu and Lu, Naruto said as he sighed. I would love to chat, but I have paperwork to do. Now step aside, I need to get to my office. You go missing for an entire year and show up like nothing happened. Lu, the taller of the two, growled out as Gu, the shorter and plumper, nodded. And what's with you getting an office while we, the hard-working detectives, get dumb desks? Gu said as Naruto shook his head. The blonde then sniffed the air a bit with a frown before he smirked. You guys share the same perfume? And soap? Naruto asked as the two stared at him in confusion. And your lips are bruised, you guys must have had a fun night out. I don't know what you're talking about, Lu said as he looked around nervously. You guys don't have to hide, you know. Every detective worth their salt knows, Naruto said. The two looked at their fellow detectives scattered around the room, said detectives quickly looked away. That still doesn't say why Mommy Dearest gave you a brand new office. Gu barked as Lu nodded beside him. Maybe the fact that he went deep undercover for a whole year Infiltrated the Black Dragons and brought them down? Lin Beifong said, making the two idiots freeze. Now get back to work, you two. Yes, ma'am. The two saluted before running to God knows where. Lin turned to the blonde. Detective Beifong, I want a detailed report of your time. It's already done, ma'am, Naruto answered with a smile. Doesn't it feel weird calling someone else Detective Beifong? Get back to work, Chief Beifong said blankly before leaving for her office. Love you to mother, Naruto waved as the few officers around chuckled. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an office to get to. Naruto grinned before opening the door and walking in. A few minutes later. Okay, I'm B-board. Naruto came out of his office with a sigh. Is there anything for me to... All units rampaging Bender in Downtown Republic. All you units to Downtown Republic. A Bender is on a rampage. Suspect is very powerful and extremely dangerous. She's riding a giant polar dog. Are we sure the... Oh, excitement. Naruto grinned as officers begun going to their stations. You guys mind if I take point on this one? Of course, sir. One of the metal benders saluted. Despite Naruto being the youngest in the force and being so high up the chain of command that only his mother outranked him. Most people Lugu assumed it was a case of nepotism, but nope. Naruto Beifong had proven to everyone that he deserved his position as a high-ranking officer, detective. The fact that he took down the Black Dragons, the largest crime syndicate in the world, was further proof of this. Let's go then. But sir, you're not dressed... Don't worry about that, the blonde waved off the statement. Naruto was dressed in a long-sleeved orange shirt with the Beifong crest on the back. It's a boar with wings and some black pants and shoes. We have a criminal on the loss. We are in a world of trouble, Naga, Korra muttered, as she tried and failed to navigate the complicated streets of Republic City. The police were after her for some reason. She had stopped a couple from being extorted, and somehow she was the bad guy? Those thugs are the ones to blame for all of this. What did they call themselves again? The triple threat triad? Whatever. The point is that she was innocent and Oshita train. Hey there. Korra blinked before she felt firm hands wrap around her from behind. Hey, what the hell? She cried out as she tried to struggle out of the grip. Whoever it was had somehow climbed aboard Naga without her noticing. Plus, they smelled like oranges, or for some reason. When the officer asked you to go with him to HQ, you should have accepted. You could have easily explained that you're the Avatar. The person whispered into her ear, making her shiver. Now just get to the train and just pull over on the side and we can explain ourselves to the police. The person said, oh, by the way, I'm a cop, so... Korra gently slowed down Naga and stopped at the side. There we go now, I'll light and, oh my god, the elbow. As soon as she got an opening, Korra tried to elbow the orange-smelling creep. She quickly turned and found no one behind her. Over here! Korra turned back and there he was. A blonde-haired, handsome man around her age was smiling at her. Yo, Ms. Avatar, he said. He pulled a badge from his pocket and showed it to her. The name's Beifong, Naruto Beifong, and welcome to Republic City. Also, you're under arrest. You failed miserably, Naruto said calmly as he stared at the metal-bending officers before him. Someone takes out the 3 members of the Triple TS and you guys act hostile to her. If you had calmly asked her to come with you, then she wouldn't have panicked and run away. Nice going dickwards. The Avatar now feels she can't trust the police, and will most likely decide to do things without letting us in on it. The blonde glared at the officers who had the decency to look embarrassed. Dismissed, he waved them away just as a tall, bald man in red and yellow robes approached. Detective Beifong, the man greeted with a nod. I'm here for the Avatar. Tenzin, Naruto greeted. The Avatar is being questioned, but I can take you to her. Please lead the way. Look, can I talk to someone in charge? An irritated Korra asked. The woman before her kept going on and on about how she broke the rules and was a criminal now. As the Avatar, she wasn't just supposed to let people in trouble suffer while she waited for someone else. Looking at her, the woman pointed a thumb at herself. The name's Chief Lin. Wait, Beifong? Like the hot detective I met earlier, this angry bitch of a hug was related to that blonde hunky. Must be his grandmother or something. I see you met my husband, Lin smirked smugly. Wait, what? Yelled as she stood up. You and him are? We're married, actually, Lin said. Now back to the topic at hand. The title of Avatar might impress a lot of people, but it doesn't impress me. You can't just walk up into my city and start causing damage. You do something like this again, and I'll throw you in a cage. Korra was about to say something when the door to the interrogation room burst open and in walked Tenzin and that blonde hunk. Lin, you're looking absolutely gore. Get her out of my city. Lin growled at Tenzin before turning to the blonde and smiling. Naruto, honey, come give me hug. Sure. The blonde shrugged and walked towards the woman while Korra stood up and walked to Tenzin. Korra glanced back at the couple only to see Lin smirking at her before grabbing handful the blonde hunk's ass and squeezing. Response was to just stick out her tongue and, "We have to talk about the ass grabbing. You could do it to me if you want, so you're the Viper?" Naruto asked as he entered the interrogation room. "Who's asking?" Viper grinned, hands behind his head and legs over the metal table, said as he put his badge on the table. "Can I convince you to play things the easy?" "Ha ha ha, no can do, detective, not even for someone as famous you Beifong," Viper said. "Now if you have nothing to say, get out of my sight, you piece of sh—" Viper could finish the table before him was sent flying, making him fall to the cold hard. "Meeting you, I've deduced that you're someone who can't be reasoned with. You're someone who—" Naruto now stood menacingly before the waterbender. "We'll definitely talk under pain, lots and lots of pain. Nen, now wait a minute, you can just beat me you up." "Yes, I can. The top dogs only care for results, not the methods," Naruto said as he held out his hand. The metal from the table shot up from the table and began to wrap around his hand and arm. Now it looked like the detective had an arm made of metal, and he was going to beat the ever-loving shit out Viper. "You're going to tell me what I need to know or else," Naruto threatened as Viper stared. "You're bluffing. You wouldn't—" Naruto suddenly picked up Viper by his shirt and held him up. He then punched the man in the gut with his metal arm. "Oh, I think I can," Naruto muttered as he dropped the man. "I'm gone for a year and you triple threats think you can fuck with my city?" The blonde Beifong stepped on the form of Viper, who was holding his stomach in pain. "Now tell me, where is your boss?" "What did he tell you?" Lin asked as her son walked out of the interrogation room. In Lin's hands was a green t-shirt. Apparently his boss, Lightning Bolt Zolt, has been missing for a while now, along with a few higher-ups in their little group, Naruto said as he took off his blood-stained shirt, showing off his muscular and slightly scarred torso. The triple threats got a visit from the Equalists. "So the Equalists have Zolt?" "Why?" Lin asked as she handed her son the green shirt. "Viper doesn't know, but I might find out in a week or so," Naruto said as he put on the shirt. "Now, if you excuse me, I'm off to get lucky. Are you going to see the Avatar?" Lin asked with a frown. "Why don't we go out for dinner like you promised? Remember when we talked about you smothering me? I vaguely remember a conversation like that. Why?" "You're doing it," Naruto said with a blank look. "The Avatar is someone who I feel is a magnet for trouble. Besides, if I was an Equalist and I wanted to spread terror to the bending folk, I would most definitely go after the Avatar. Plus, by that little speech she gave earlier, she's going to go after him." "You just want some Avatar pussy," Lin said blankly. "Going now," Naruto said before turning in. "Just so you know, she was an old man in a past life, multiple in fact," Lin called out, making Naruto falter in his step. "Air Temple Island. Nice view, isn't it? Oh, my spirits." Korra jumped before turning around and coming face to face with the blonde hunk from before. "It's you." "Yep, it's me," Naruto said with a smile. "So watcha doing up here?" "I'm trying to listen to a pro-bending match. Now keep quiet," Korra said with a finger to her lips. "Oh, maybe we can just go see a match right now," said Ke. "Wait, what?" a shocked Korra asked as she grabbed him by his shirt. "Can we?" "Yep, but on one condition," Naruto said as Korra nodded. "Anything. She really wanted to see a live pro-bending match. It would be like a dream come true. We make it a date," Naruto said as he grinned. As long as you pay for everything." "Deal," Naruto said easily, making Korra frown. It kind of felt like she just lost something and Korra didn't like that. "And backstage passes and meeting the teams?" she asked before pausing at the blank look on his face. "Too much?" "Avatar, I'm a fucking Beifong. Of course we can go backstage and meet the teams." Naruto grinned as Korra cheered. "Let's go," Korra said excitedly. "We're gonna miss it. Wait, do you even have tickets?" "Avatar. Just call me Korra." "Korra, I'm a fucking detective and a Beifong." "What's that supposed to mean?" a confused Korra asked. "It means I'm rich. Very rich," Naruto said with a shrug. "Now come on, I have a boat waiting for us, and don't worry, I won't try anything on our date." "Maybe I want you to try something," Korra mumbled. "Nothing, come on, the boat's waiting," Korra yelled before leaping off the roof. "So what does your wife think about all this? About you taking someone prettier and sexier than her out for a date?" Korra asked. The two were currently seated in what the young Avatar can only describe as a small boat for two that was moving very fast. She'd only seen one move this fast with the aid of water bending. She knew for a fact he was an earthbender, so... "I have a wife?" the blonde asked in amusement. "Yeah, Chief Beifong. That's my mother." Naruto replied with a smile at the wide-eyed Korra. "Yeah, she likes pranking people. But she grabbed your ass?" She takes her pranks very seriously. We moving so fast? Korra asked, trying to. The boat has a metal propeller under it, and with metal bending, it's easy to turn. Naruto said. To prove his point, the boat seemed to speed up. I call it a speedboat. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah, your metal bending skills are on another level. I haven't seen you flinch, Korra said, impressed at the show of bending. You mind teaching me? Not at all, Naruto nodded. So, as the Avatar, I take it, you've traveled the world learning from the Masters and taking in everyone's different cultures. Actually, it's more like the Masters came to me, Korra said with a frown. I know they mean well, but those assholes kept me locked up in my own home for years, keeping me in line with their dumb rules. Even now, they have 100 White Lotus guards running to keep in check. But why? Because those stupid White Lotus want to keep me safe. From what? I mean, the world is a dangerous place, but it's not that dangerous. You kind of have to get a feel for it before you can discover your place in it. Once that's done, the world becomes somewhat easy and beautiful, Naruto said, a small smile on his face as he stared at the beautiful city ahead. Korra could see the lights of the city in his reflection. The more of the world you see, the more you realize that there is no place like home. Korra turned to look at the city, and she was amazed at the beauty. Republic City at night was one of the most beautiful things Korra had ever seen. If you think that's amazing, you should check out the Fire Nation capital, Naruto said as the boat slowed down. And we're here. Yais, Korra cheered before leaping off the boat. So, maybe we can go and eat out for pro-bending. Korra got to witness the power of money firsthand. When they first arrived, tickets were sold out and the ticket salesman took great delight in telling them that. That is until Naruto offered to pay double for each ticket. Apparently backstage passes were sold out, but Naruto simply flashed his badge and a few minutes later, they were in. You can go see the Black Bagger or whatever they are called. I have to go talk to the owner for a bit, Naruto said as Korra nodded. Take too long, and also, it's the fire. Damn, I was way off, Naruto said with a chuckle before leaving. Passing by a young, black-haired, green-eyed man. He was dressed in a funny red and white themed pro-bending suit. Korra hummed as she looked around. Which way did that ticket guy say Hey there, beautiful. A voice called. Korra turned to see a young man dressed in a weird outfit. Oh, backstage passes, nice. Oh, hey, I'm looking for the fire ferrets, Korra said as the young man smiled at her. Well, you're in luck, for I am a fire ferret, he said dramatically. Wow, you're Mako, Korra asked excitedly. A chance meeting with the Mako, the man that carried the wild fire ferrets the last round. Actually, no, I'm Bolin. Oh, Korra deflated. But you can still meet him, if you want. The now-named Bolin offered. I can even show you around, since you're a very important person and all. Led the way then Bolin. Korra grinned as Bolin blushed. Naruto. Who's asking? The old balding man asked with a snort. I am, Naruto answered as the old man turned to him. Detective Beifong of the Republic City Police Department. I'll cut to the chase. I know Zolt has the owner of this place in his pocket, Naruto said as Toza frowned. Then what do you want with me? When was the last time he came here? Naruto asked, as Toza looked thoughtful. Come to think of it, the bastard missed his appointment, Toza said with a frown. You think he's dead? Naruto shrugged. I hope not. Asshole needs to pay for ruining my city, he said. Anyway, thanks for the help. While I have your attention, detective, Toza said, as he looked around. The old man stomped his foot and a wall of earth covered the entrance. Naruto was instantly on edge, his eyes narrowing and his body ready for him to strike. Don't worry, even I'm not dumb enough to attack a Beifong. Especially you of all people, Toza said with a wave. Zolt never say his ridiculous nickname in front of me. The last time he was here, Zolt was selling a new drug, something he got from his Fire Nation connection. Toza said as he frowned deeply. These kids that take it makes them feel on top of the world and invincible. For a few hours, once that's done, the side effects kick in. It's not a pretty sight, I tell you. Always twitching, bloody noses and dry lips all around. Some even shit themselves. I haven't heard of this before, Naruto asked as he looked skeptical. That's surprising. This shit's been blowing up for the past month. Aren't you Republic City's greatest detective? Well, I wasn't informed about this, Naruto muttered. Anything else? That's all I got, Toza shrugged before turning away from the blonde. You're the detective, so figure it out. Korra. The young avatar stared at the pro-bending match with wide eyes. This was the new age of bending at its peak. Though it was great showing of her team, the fire ferrets were losing pretty badly. Not to brag, but Korra could do way better than their waterbender. The guy was letting them down. Damn, it's not looking good for them down there. Korra turned to find Naruto walking towards. Sorry about ghosting you, something police-related came up. Yeah, it's their waterbender. Guy's messing things up for yous. Korra growled as she glared at the guy getting the shit beat out of him. Naruto just silently watched her as the game progressed, chipping in here and there to keep the conversation flowing. Surprisingly, Mako pulled a clutch and saved the day with an impressive show of fire. You guys were amazing out there, Korra exclaimed as the three benders walked into the locker room. Hey asshole, you almost cost us the game, Mako growled as the long-haired waterbender huffed. Hey, we won, didn't we? Get off my ass, the waterbender yelled, before wiping his nose that was bleeding. Oh, he definitely threw the match, Naruto said with a chuckle. Who the hell are you? Mako asked as he turned to Naruto. I'm Korra's dad. He's just a guy I came with. Wow, Mako, that was so cool. You came in clutch and beat their asses, Korra said as Mako smirked a bit. Here I thought we were on a date, Naruto muttered. Good game you. What do you mean good? It was awesome. Look, Korra, I'm not into pro bending that much, the blonde metal bender said as he rubbed his hair. I only came here because you wanted to. I thought it would be a cool date. Clearly I was wrong. Oh, you were actually serious about the whole date thing? Ouch. Even Bolin winced at that. Why don't you like pro bending? Bolin asked as Naruto turned to him. I'm Bolinbai. I'm Naruto, the blonde said as the two earthbenders shook hands. No offense to you guys, but I don't see the appeal. But it's cool, Bolin yelled as he punched the air. That's the thing, Naruto shrugged. Many people blubber on about how cool it looks, but in a real fight against a master bender, you would lose. So what you're saying is that pro bending is beneath you? Mako said as he turned to the blonde and took a few steps forward. Well, no, but what, huh? Mako was now in Naruto's face. Get out of my face, Naruto said calmly before Mako was suddenly on the other side of the room. No, he wasn't thrown. It was like the ground moved him to the other side. A bender's greatest strength is their stance. And frankly, both of yours are pathetic. How are you supposed to have a firm stance when you keep on jumping around and trying to look cool? Naruto then turned to Bolin and shook his head. And you, an earthbender sent flying by a waterbender like that. It's not like he threw a tsunami at you. Down now, Korra said as she stepped in. If you think you're better than us, then why don't you prove it? Mako yelled, You, me, the gym. The black-haired firebender then stormed off, with Bolin following after him. What the heck was that for? You should apologize, Korra yelled as Naruto shrugged. I'm not apologizing, Naruto said. I just told it how it is. Now you have to fight him and nope, I'm going home. I came here for a date and my date didn't have a good tea time, Naruto said as he began walking away. Hey Naruto, wait, I'm sorry, Korra called out as the blonde paused. I was just caught up in the moment and I'm sorry. The blonde sighed before turning to the avatar. I'm sorry too. The way you were looking at Mako, I kinda got jealous. The way I was looking at him? A confused Korra asked. Like he was God among us. He just did something cool, so, Korra said as she rubbed the back of her head, I just really like bending. Naruto looked at Korra for a moment before sighing. I'll apologize to Mako, he said. Yes, my first day on the job and I'm breaking conflicts. Korra cheered as Naruto stared at her blankly. Breaking conflicts. Apologize for insulting you in your sport. I was out of line, Naruto said as he. I was not expecting that, Bolin said as he scratched his head. I don't care, Mako said as he got into a stance. We're doing this now, Naruto frowned before turning to Korra. Maybe I'll appreciate pro bending more if I experience it up close? He asked as the avatar looked thoughtful. Sure, why not? Korra shrugged. But this is just a friendly spar. I'm looking at you, Mr. Whatever, Mako grunted as Naruto stepped to the makeshift ring. All right, let Naruto step to the side as a ball of fire flew past him. I guess we're doing this, the blonde muttered as he got into his stance. That's enough, Toza yelled as he stomped into the gym. I don't want him racking this place. Oh well, Naruto shrugged. It is what it is. Oh man, Bolin whined. I really wanted to see the fight. Detective, the place is closing now, Toza said as he narrowed his eyes. So it seems, Naruto said as he smiled. He then turned to the avatar. The night's still young, so you want to hit the town? I don't. Korra seemed hesitant as she rubbed her arm. Tenzin might be mad, and just one drink and we're off to Air Temple Island. Korra looked thoughtful before shrugging. Sure, if I'm gonna be protecting Republic City, I need to see it for myself. Let's go teeth then. Naruto grinned as he held out his hand, which the young avatar took. She grinned as the two made their way out. Oh, bye guys, see you tomorrow. Yeah, night. Damn, that guy is so cool, Bolin whispered as they watched the duo leave. "The hell, old man," Mako growled out. "I was going to put that rich boy asshole in." "That rich asshole is Detective Beifong, the Detective Beifong, the one that took down the triumvirate." You're joking, right?" Mako felt the energy in his body leave and his skin turn pale. "I wish I was joking," Toza said as he shook his head. "Next time you decide to impress a girl, find out the name of the guy you think you're going to beat up." "I think I need a minute," Mako muttered as he sat down. "Me too," Bolin muttered as he just threw himself to the ground. "You almost died." "Of embarrassment, because he could beat you with both hands behind his back." Toza laughed. "Now stop lazing around and get back to work." Pema felt extremely awkward right now, seated between her husband and the woman she stole him from. At first she felt guilty, but seeing Lin Beifong looking relaxed and younger put her at ease, though it irritated her that the woman looked younger and in better shape. Must be a Bender thing. Clearing her throat, Pema spoke up. "I see you brought your work with you." Lin Beifong was dressed in a black trench coat over her armor. She was seated at the table with a stack of papers next to her and a pen in hand. "As my son put it, no rest for the wicked," Lin answered without even looking up from. "Speaking of Naruto, how is he?" Tenzin spoke up as Lin glanced at him. "I consider him family." "I don't know," Lin answered as she sighed. "He was undercover for the past year and he seems distant." "Distant how?" the airbender asked as he stroked his beard. "We had dinner plans, but he bailed on me," Lin said as she put down her pen and paper. "That is very strange." "Even stranger," Tenzin hummed. Pema, feeling left out, decided to speak up. "He's a grown-up now. Maybe kissing his mother is kind of beneath him?" As soon as those words came out of her mouth, Pema regretted it. Tenzin stared at her with wide eyes, and Lin blankly faced her. "You think me showing my one and only son my love is beneath him?" she asked coldly, making Pema extremely nervous. Lin's green eyes glared at the pregnant woman. I meant that you're smothering him." "Oh no," Tenzin groaned from the side. Lin stared at Pema for a few seconds before standing up. "I need some air," Lin Beifong said before leaving the room. "Look what you did, Pema," Tenzin sighed as Pema looked at him with wide eyes. "Me? I didn't do anything," Pema defended. "I was just trying to join the conversation. And look where that got us. She smothers that poor boy, and it's unnatural. I pointed out, and I'm the bad guy?" Pema yelled out angrily. "She needs to let him go. A boy his age should not be living with his mother. He has a well-paying job and a purpose. She's holding him back." "That's enough, Pema," Tenzin yelled as she froze. Her husband has never yelled at her like this. "It is none of our business how Lin chooses to raise her son." I stepped out of line on that, but you know I'm right. I have talked to Naruto about him getting his own place, and he wished to be with his mother at the time. Tenzin, as he sighed. "I'll try again soon, but you must not bring this issue up ever again," nodded as she swallowed thickly. Lin Beifong was always calm on the outside, but she was a destructive bitch who cared for nothing but her son. And if anyone asked, Pema thought she cared a little too much. Lin Beifong grunted as she walked away. What most people didn't know was that she had excellent hearing, a product of her mother's training. Along with her sister, they were blindfolded for a week. Suyin had whined that it was cruel, and mother let her be. When Lin had voiced her unwillingness to continue, Toph just looked at her and said, "I thought you could do better, Lin." So Lin pushed herself, going an entire year blindfolded and practicing her seismic sense. Of course, Toph didn't show her approval. Even when Lin pushed herself too far, her mother just didn't seem to care. Lin Beifong refused to be like her bitch of a mother. She would praise her son, reward him when he did well, and when he failed, she would criticize him and help him do better. To help her beloved be the best he can be. Lin Beifong stared up at the moon and sighed. Was it so wrong to love her son? "Is it?" Lin asked in the midnight sky. "My Naruto." "Hey Ma," of her beloved. There he was, the young avatar in his arms as the two stumbled at. "Look, it's Chief Bitch Face. Korra, don't be like that. It's pronounced Beifong," Naruto said as he laughed out. "Where have you been?" Lin asked sternly. "It's past midnight. Drinking with my boyfriend Korra." Naruto giggled as Korra punched him in the... "I'm not your boyfriend, idiot," Korra said as she huffed. "I'm your girlfriend, I think." "Listen up, Aang," Korra shouted as she stepped forward, only for her to almost fall. Luckily, Naruto caught her. "Oh, once I'm done with my airbending training, I'll travel the world." "Korra, are you Drake? Who the fuck gave you the right to not let me see the world, to cage me up like a damned bird? I'm the freaking avatar, and it's my right to learn the different cultures of the world. You got that, Aang? Fuck you." Korra gave Tenzin the finger before fainting with Naruto catching her. "Wait," Naruto chuckled as Tenzin helped him with Korra. "Hey Ma, let's go home." The blonde instantly blacked out. Lucky for him, Lin caught him. Lin, please, it's past midnight. We have spare rooms for you and your son, Tenzin said, missing the look that Pima gave him. I don't want to. Naruto clearly has a problem because this isn't him. Late night outs and getting drunk? Something happened when he went undercover, Tenzin said as Lin sighed, tears in her eyes as she carried her son in a bridal carry. My sweet boy, what happened to you? She whispered as she followed Tenzin and Pema. Nightmare. The worst person in existence stared down at Naruto with cold black eyes. Why? Naruto groaned as he spit a glob of blood out of mouth. The blonde was lying on his front, his metal uniform ripped to shreds, body horribly burnt as he looked up at the man that did this to him. Why all this suffering? Honestly, I would go on a rant, but why bother? Why justify my actions to a weakling like you? The man chuckled as looked down at the blonde. I could kill you with a snap of my fingers, but for whatever reason, as death seems to have an obsession with you. And you did convince Gaara to join your side with, what did she call it again? Oh, talk bending. I'm gonna stop you. I seriously doubt that, the man said before stomping on Naruto's back, getting a yell of pain from the blonde. I haven't been fighting at my strongest. He pointed a finger at a nearby building before, and a large bolt of lightning shot out of it, completely obliterating the building and reducing it to rubble. That wasn't even the only building destroyed. A dozen buildings were reduced to ash from the fight between the two monsters. The south side of Republic City was on fire, and it was all one man's doing. By the way, I have your mother. If you don't show up in a week to fight me, I'll have her brutally raped. The underlings need a bit of fun once in a while, the man said with a laugh. Let no one say that I, Madara of the nation, was not a generous man. Those were the last words Naruto said before blacking out. End nightmare. Naruto groaned as his eyes opened. His body instantly tensed at the unfamiliar room before relaxing upon recognizing the design. He was at Air Temple Island. Feeling a body next to him, Naruto turned his head to see Lin sleeping, though she had a worried look on her face. Naruto gently caressed her face. I love you, he said softly as she opened her eyes. You too, she whispered back. I know, and I'm sorry, Naruto said as he felt Lin shift before she sat up. You're acting out, and it's because I'm smothering you, isn't it? Lin said as she stood up. The MILF was dressed in a white tank top and some green panties. Her hair was down as she hugged herself. I'm such a terrible mother. Don't say that. Naruto quickly shot off the bed and hugged her from behind. Then what is it? What could possibly make you go out and get drunk a day after you come home? Lin cried as she felt his hold on her tighten. For me to join the Black Dragons, I had to do things that reminded me of that man. When I was with the Black Dragons, I felt like I was becoming him. And I was fine with that. Naruto muttered. Love is not a necessity. Only true power is the necessity. Don't say tat, Lin said as she turned around. You're not like that, psycho. You don't know that. Of course I do. I'm your mother, and it is my job to know. Lin yelled at him, tears in her eyes as Naruto looked down. I am telling you right now that you are a good person. Naruto cracked a small smile as he brought his mom into a hug. You're my mom. You're biased as hell. Of course I am, Lin muttered into his chest. You seem to forget how much I love you. Trust me, I'll never forget that. Naruto laughed. Now, can we go back to sleep because my head is killing them, but I'm hangover. It'll clear your head. You just want to kick my ass for ditching dinner, don't you? Naruto asked as his mother snorted. Obviously. Line break. Korra woke to the sound of explosions and the earth shaking. Last night was a blur, but a few things stuck out. Cracking her neck, she got off the bed. She noted she was dressed in her blue panties and a yellow shirt. Korra had questions, and she needed answers. After dressing in her air-bending outfit, yellow and orange gross, Korra made her way through the halls of the main house, looking for Tenzin. Oh, hey, Korra. Korra turned to see Pema holding a small basket. Good morning. I brought you some pain medication and water for your hangover. Hey, Pema, Korra greeted back. I'm fine, actually. No pain for me. Not even a headache? Pema asked with a. Korra just shrugged. I'm fine. Oh, must be some type of avatar power. Pema said, Tenzin is waiting for you. Boom. What is that? Korra asked as she felt the ground shake. Those two, Pema said with a shake of her head. Naruto and Lin are outside training. Come on, I'll take you to them. The Avatar and the pregnant woman walked out of the main house and went to the training grounds. The first thing Korra saw was a shirtless Naruto fighting Chief Beifong in hand-to-hand combat. Lin was dressed in a white tank top and some black pants. What impressed Korra, apart from Naruto's delicious body, was him being blindfolded and managing to fight. Lin wasn't pulling her punches either. At the side, Tenzin, Jinora, and Ikki were watching. Things look pretty intense out there, Korra said as they approached the three airbenders. For those two, it's Tuesday, Tenzin commented. Korra, we need to tea talk. We do, Korra said as she stared right at Tenzin. What you did yesterday was unbecoming of the Avatar. The morning news was all about how you went on a drinking spree in downtown Republic. Are you even listening? Tenzin yelled. The young Avatar seemed to stare past him and to the two benders fighting. No, I'm not, Korra replied nonchalantly. Tenzin, I had Fire Nation food yesterday for the very first time. Do you know what that means? What does this have to... I'm the bridge between everyone. It's literally my job to go around the world and help people. I'm the Avatar, master of all four elements. Yet I've never tested Fire Nation food or Earth Nation food until yesterday. Korra said as Tenzin looked confused. Korra, what are you saying? Tenzin asked calmly. Normally he would yell at Korra, but she seemed to have something on her mind and he was there to listen. Tenzin, I'm the Avatar and I've only been to two places. Here and home. That's it. Aang was 12 when he traveled the world and there was a freaking war going on. What excuse do I have? Korra ranted. Once I'm done with airbending training, I'm traveling the world. Tenzin wanted to object, to tell her she can't, and that's final. If that's what you want, Tenzin said as everyone looked at him in shock. Even his kids were staring at him with wide eyes. What? You actually agreed with Korra, Ikki yelled as she clapped. Is that so surprising? Yes. Even Jinora nodded from where she stood. Is very unusual, she said, staring right. Okay, everybody, enough, Tenzin said. Korra, let's us begin our training. After you tell me about the triumvirate, Korra said, as Tenzin froze in his beard. Children, go with your mother, Tenzin ordered, as Pema took the children away. I was hoping you wouldn't hear of this. There is a giant painting of Naruto with wings at the side of a B building. Fair enough, Tenzin muttered. A few years ago, Republic City was attacked by the greatest threat we'd ever faced. The Triumvirate, a large criminal gang led by the three strongest benders to ever live. The strongest? A skeptical Korra asked. Gaara of the Sandbenders, a man with the power to bend sand tsunamis. Sand tsunamis he conjured out of thin air. Next is Esdeath of the Southern Water Tribe. She had the ability to bloodbend and drown entire cities in oceans of water with a wave of her hand. Oh, this without a full moon. Esdeath on a normal day was a monster, but under a full moon. A goddess is the only word to describe what she became. Her healing was so powerful she could either reattach a severed limb or grow back a new one entirely. Tenzin explained as Korra looked on in shock. Severed limbs and blood bending during the day? I don't know if she sounds badass or horrifying. Tenzin shook his head with a frown. She would control our tropes and order them to break their necks and torture our commanding officers for information, he said as he narrowed his eyes. Horrifying it is, Korra gulped. And their leader, Madara of the Fire Nation, a ruthless sadistic man hell-bent on burning Republic City to the ground. And he nearly succeeded. Madara was the most frightening man I have ever met. His fire was so hot it was like standing in front of the sun, and he could conjure up lightning without getting into a stance. Madara would burn his subordinates alive if they failed him, and his enemies experienced a far worse death. I've seen him burn an entire building to the ground, a hospital. His reasoning was because everyone in there was weak, Tenzin said, as he glared at the ground with so much hate it actually shocked Korra. She'd seen him disapproving, she saw him upset but never angry. What did he do to you? Korra asked slowly. Tenzin was Mr. Spiritual. He doesn't get pissed. Madara wanted an airbender to join the triumvirate. I refused, and so he kidnapped Jinora. He said he would have her breed him a legion of airbenders till she gave birth to one with a talent he wanted. Tenzin growled out. Naruto, Lin, and I went after them. The council at this point was scared of the triumvirate and had been making peace talks with them. They refused to give us help, and so we went in by ourselves. What happened? Korra asked. A bloodbath. Now don't bring this up ever again. Especially to Naruto. But I want to know what happened, Korra yelled. How did you guys beat them? Korra, that's enough, Tenzin ordered as he began walking away. Now let's go do our own training. Korra would have pressed on, but even she could tell Tenzin didn't want to talk anymore. So she held off, for now. Meanwhile, the Beifong were going at it. Fuck, Naruto cursed as he dodged a piece of flying earth. A second piece hit him right in the gut and sent him flying back. I think we're done. Oh no, we're not, Lin Beifong grinned. In a normal 1v1 between the two, Naruto would have Lin's ass. But since Naruto was hungover, this was Lin's chance. Both had on white tank tops and black pants and were barefoot. Lin stomped her foot as 5 large pieces of earth shot off the ground and into the air. Seismic sense was a powerful tool, but it had one glaring weakness: attacks from the air. That's why her mother had her blindfolded, not only to improve her seismic sense, but hearing as well. So Lin in turn trained Naruto. Normally, Naruto would have blocked or dodged even with the blindfold, but Naruto sidestepped the first two only for the three to hit him in the chest, stomach, and finally his head. Fuck me. Naruto groaned as he held his forehead. This child abuse is its finest. Stop me, bitch. Lin laughed out. That's just rude, Naruto muttered. What's all this about? I don't know what you're talking about. You've been kicking the shit out of me for the past 3 hours. I'm tired, Naruto muttered as he took off his blindfold. This is to get you back in shape, Lin muttered as Age fired another rock at Naruto. This time the blonde stopped it in midair. Mom, you and the Avatar have a thing going on, and last time you dated someone, you forgot about me. You yelled at me and then shut me out. You stopped coming home for dinner, and Lin paused as she looked away. I was so lonely on you, left to go live with her. Ma, that's never gonna happen, Naruto yelled as he walked towards her. What happened between me and Asami is history. She's out of our lives now, plus I learned my lesson. The blonde gently took her hand and put it in his. And what's that? Lin muttered, as she felt her son squeeze her hand softly. Is that you're my number one in this world, Naruto said as Lin, with tears in her eyes, turned to him and hugged him tightly. I love you, Mom. I love you too, you big idea, Lin muttered into his chest. Hey you, Korra greeted as she approached a meditating Naruto, a tray of food and drink in her hands. Hey, Naruto greeted back as he opened his eyes. That for Mem? Yep, Pema got worried, so she cooked this up for you, Korra said, as she leaned down and handed him the food. She then took a seat next to him. So your training looked fun. Fun isn't the word I'd use, but yeah, Naruto said with a small smile. If you ask me, yours was more fun. Korra cringed in embarrassment. Please tell me you didn't see that, she groaned out. I watched the entire thing, Naruto smiled. No! Korra punched Naruto in the arm and looked away. Her burning down 100-plus-year-old relic in a feat of rage was not one of her best moments. To top it all off, her crush watched her do it. You of all people saw that. We all have those moments where we fall down, but what really matters is that we make an effort to get up, Naruto said as Korra sighed. I've been good in everything for as long as I can remember. It all just came to me, but airbending, Korra said as she looked at her hands. Why can't I honestly don't have the answer to that question, Korra, but what I do know is that you never quit. You will learn airbending, believe that, Naruto said as Korra looked at him with a smile. What? You're really cute when you aren't being jealous, Korra said as Naruto blinked. Is that a compliment, or are you making fun of me? Yes, Korra giggled as Naruto grumbled and began stuffing his face with food. Hey, you mind coming with me for my pro bending training? Yeah, I got nothing better to do. Sweet. Bonus scene. Light green eyes stared at Republic City with determination. The last time she was here, she fucked things up badly with her boyfriend. She was a brat who thought the whole world owed her. Now she is grown up now, a woman who she hopes he will be proud of. Spirits, she missed him. Last time they saw each other, they fought, and admittedly it was her fault, making him choose between his own mother and her. But that was all behind them now. I can't wait to see you again, the beautiful Asami Sato said as she stepped off the airship she arrived in. Naruto. Lin Beifong sighed as she stared at the documents on her desk. A petition to add non-benders to the metal-bending police force. While a dumb idea, it did go into detail on how they would train these non-benders in the art of chi blocking to give them the edge they need. Now that was a brilliant idea, no less from her beloved son. She would look more into it and run it by the council. Stamping the pages with the Beifong crest Lin, put them aside for later. She would send copies to the council and see what happens. Plus, if this goes well, it might help the non-bending community, show them Republic City cares for them, and unlike what Amon and his followers keep preaching. A knock from the door removes the MILF from her thoughts as she lets the person in. Ma'am, you said to report in when your son comes in today, the young woman said as Lin nodded. Report? He asked for permission for a raid tonight, the girl said as Lin frowned as she held out her hand. The girl quickly handed her the report she held in her hands. Dismissed, Lin said as the girl quickly left the office. The MILF raised an eyebrow as she read through her son's request. He claims to have found a den making red dust. That fire drug going around. Also, she remembered putting 2 detectives on this case. One thing was missing, though. Where the hell the damn raid was happening? Lin was so happy to see her son, she forgot he was a pain in the ass. Korra had decided to walk to the metal bending arena that day. Yesterday was awesome, though she barely remembered what happened. All she remembered was mingling with the locals, listening to the funny and informative stories the citizens had to tell. Now, where was that restaurant they had Vi? Look out. Huh? Korra turned to the screen before, blam, Korra's inhumane reflexes managed to kick in and she dived back, avoiding getting hit by fuck. Is that? Korra would later learn that that is a moped. Oh, my spirits, are you all right? Owner of the moped had stopped to the side of the road to check up on the young. You could have killed me, Korra snapped, a hand over her heart as she took in deep. I'm so sorry, the driver of the moped took off her helmet, showing a beautiful face with green eyes. Are you hurt anywhere? Wow, Korra stared, frozen at the sight of her would-be murderer. Her very beautiful would-be murderer. I'm fine, just a bit spoked. Glad to hear that, the driver said with a sigh as she helped Korra up. Still, I feel I should do something to make it to you. No, it was an accident. I'm perfectly fine. How about I take you out for a bite to eat? My treat, the driver asked as she gave the avatar the puppy dog look. Please, but I have pro-bending training, Korra said as she rubbed the back of her head. What about tomorrow for lunch? I could do lunch. Korra nodded as the driver clapped. Great, it'll be a date, she said with a smile. By the way, my name's Asami. Oh, I'm Korra, Korra said as Asami grabbed her hand. It's nice to meet you, Korra, Asami said with a smile. So where are you heading for training? The pro-bending arena, Korra said with a blush. Let me take you, we can make plans for our date tomorrow, Asami said before gently pulling a blushing Korra to her moped. The two women got on the two-seater vehicle with Asami on the front, as the driver and Korra behind her with her arms wrapped around the other woman's waist. Hold on tight. Asami grinned before she started off. Pro-bending arena. Hey guys, Korra greeted as she entered the room. Bolin waved her way as he practiced his earthbending. Mako just grunted her way as he did push-ups. All right, Bolin, I'm ready for some training. Noise, Bolin grinned as walked over to her, frowning as he stared at her. Hey, is that lipstick on your cheek? What? Korra quickly rubbed her cheek with a blush. It's nothing. Asami had given her a goodbye present in the form of a kiss on cheek. Oh, okay, Bolin shrugged. Today I'm doing something different. Mr. Beifong said I need to work on my stance, so I'm trying that. I see. Going for traditional Earth style? Korra asked as Bolin nodded. I'm not the greatest out there, but I'm pretty good. I could give you some pointers. Really? That's awesome. Bolin cheered. That's a bad idea, Mako said as he stood up. It'll throw off your game and you'll get your butt kicked. Don't listen to Grumpy over there. I was trained by the best earthbenders in the world. Korra said as she gave Bolin a thumbs up. You're in good hands, kid. I'm pretty sure we're the same age. Bolin deadpanned before he was hit in the gut with an earth ring, sending the teen flying back. Your stance is pathetic, Korra yelled as Bolin stood up with a groan. I want you to get in a firm defense stance now. Yes, ma'am. Bolin got into a basic earth-bending defense pose, which was his legs slightly spread, knees a bit bent and arms firmly at his side. I'm ready, ma'am. Korra gave him a smirk before kicking an earth ring at him with all her might. Bolin was strong, but compared to the Avatar, he was promptly sent flying. Again. Yes, ma'am. Naruto entered a grand restaurant and was instantly met with a beautiful woman dressed in a tight green dress that barely went past her knees. Welcome to the Jasmine Dragon, Mr. Beifong, the woman said with a smile. It's an honor to meet a hero like yourself. Can I get a private table, please? I'm here on business, and I don't wish to be disturbed, Naruto said as he looked around. The place was huge, very fancy-looking, with fancy-looking people seated about and eating. Please give me a minute to check for one. Sure, also, I'm expecting someone. Please lead her to my table when she arrives, Naruto said as the girl nodded. Of course, may I have her name? After giving her a name, Naruto was led to a table on the balcony that had a view of Republic City. Naruto was served some tea while he waited. A few minutes later, his date showed. Hello, Beifong. The woman greeted him with a smirk. Shihuin, Naruto said as he stood up and gestured to the seat opposite his. Please sit, we have a lot to talk about. Oh, such a gentleman, Yoruichi Shihuin said, as pulled up the chair and sat down. Yoruichi Shihuin is a slender and well-endowed woman of average height. She has dark skin, golden irises, and black hair is. Waist-length and kept in a ponytail with chin-length bangs framing the sides of her standard attire consists of a black backless, sleeveless undershirt, an orange overshirt with 2 white straps on each shoulder, a large beige sash around her waist, and black stretch pants with a pair of lightweight brown shoes. So, tell me all about your time under. What's there to say? I went in too deep, Naruto said as he sighed. We all go too deep at some point, but tell me what snapped you out. What made you realize that you were becoming a black dragon? Yoruichi said as she took a sip of her tea. After ranking up and becoming a boss, I made sure the dragons did as little damage as possible. This didn't sit right with a fellow boss, Poli, so she challenged me, winner take all. So we fought and she lost. I beat her down, but in my head I thought that wasn't enough. So I tore her clothes and fucked her there and then, Naruto said as he chuckled darkly. The funny part is that the crazy bitch was enjoying every moment of it. It was almost as if she knew I would do it. She lived by the same philosophy Madara did, and it pissed me off. Yoruichi put her hand on his in a comforting gesture. You're home now. You're safe, she said soothingly. Speaking of home, Naruto said, changing the subject entirely. The kid I told you to follow. I got your letter. At first I thought it was a dead end, but after following the kid for 20 minutes, I found his dealer. Then I followed the dealer around and found his supplier. All in one day. Yoruichi said as Naruto snorted. You've gotten big-headed. You don't get it, boss. I followed the Hasuke kid's dealer and he gets around. His distribution is on the safe side, but not that safe. These people are careless, and the only reason their product is booming is because it's very easy to get. Proving her point, Yoruichi dug into her pockets and pulled out a large plastic bag filled with red powder. I even managed to get in this fine establishment with this on me. She then pulled out a letter with the address of the supplier and handed it over to the blonde. Wait, you're saying that the supplier of this stuff has people on the inside? Naruto asked with narrowed eyes as he pocketed the letter. Believe so, the beauty said. Someone in the higher-ups is looking the other way. Almost sounds like you're accusing my mother, Naruto said, as Yoruichi quickly waved. No, never. I know it's not the chief, Yoruichi said nervously. While she liked to tease Naruto, she knew better than to slander his mother. But it is someone else, someone inside the police force. Naruto seemed to scratch his cheek as his eyes narrowed. It couldn't be those two idiots, could it? Naruto muttered. I think I know who you mean, Yoruichi said as she rubbed her chin. Should I follow them around for a while? Please do, Naruto hummed. Naruto, I know you have your own problems, but this red chili, the side effects are terrible, the purple-haired lady said. It makes benders 10 times stronger, boosting their confidence to high levels. It makes them feel like gods, but only for a moment, then they crash, and it's bad. Bloody noses and headaches. The stronger the bender, the less the side effects, but for the weaker ones, once they have a test, they want more, and 3 doses kills them. That's why the high-class benders, none of them have died from this. All they get are nosebleeds, and they are set. If one of those high-class benders had died, this thing wouldn't have grown as much as it has. You have to get this drug off the streets. I see your point, Naruto said as he sighed. We're raiding the supplier's base tonight, and I want you there with Mem. Okay, but why? Yoruichi asked with a raised eyebrow. Also, don't you need a day to authorize that raid? Mom needs to see a non-bender in action to convince her to make a non-bender task force. So be on your best behavior and don't fuck this up, Naruto said as he glared at her. Got it, Yoruichi said with a gulp. I did the paperwork this morning, Naruto said as he stood up and picked up the bag of red dusty. I have so much faith in you, it's not even funny. Thanks, boss, she said with blush. I'll make sure to live up to expectations. I know you will, Naruto muttered. The blonde was about to go before Yoruichi caught his forearm. What? I've missed you, she said with a smirk as she stood up. A lot. I missed you to Yoruichi, Naruto said. So, my place or yours? Yoruichi asked. I can help get some of the stress off. I'd love that, but there's this girl I like and things are going great, Naruto said as the dark-skinned woman pouted. Damn, I'm too late, she said with a smile. She makes you happy? Yeah, she does, the blonde said with a smile. Have you had enough yet, punk? I can still go, ma'am. Naruto stepped into the gym just to see Korra bend a rock right into Bolin's gut. The teen barely flinched, tanking the hit. Damn, Naruto whistled as they both turned to him. You took that like a champ. Thanks, Mr. Beifong, Bolin said as he gave a thumbs up. Ma'am, permission to die, ma'am? You've worked hard today, Korra said as she folded her arms. You may take a rest. Thank you. The teen then proceeded to fall on his ass. What's all that about? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Bolin took your words to heart and is working on his stance, Korra said as she wiped the sweat off her forehead. You were right. Bolin's stance needs work. And you're teaching him? Of course, I'm the best earthbender in the entire city. Korra huffed as she pointed at herself. I bet I can take you on Mr. Hero Detective. Oh, Naruto grinned. You want to rumble? I do, Korra said as she smirked. I'm so fired up right now and beating you will make it even better. Damn, that's hot, Naruto said as he stepped back. Let's do this. Korra grinned as she too took a step back. Ready to lose? She asked as she got into a stance. I'll only use earthbending. No, I want to see how I hold up against the Avatar, Naruto said as he got into a stance. We go all out. I'll pay for everything. Oh, so sweet, Korra said with a smirk. It's going to be bad when I beat you. The two stared at each before they moved. Korra throws a jet of flames at Naruto as the blonde brings up a wall to block the flames. Grunting, the blonde pushes his wall forward. Korra quickly stopped the wall by splitting it down the middle. She then fired off another blast of fire. Naruto ducked down. His hands hit the ground as the very earth seemed to crawl up his hands and then arms. Standing up, Naruto looked at his armored arms with a smirk. Bashing them together, the blonde ran at Korra. Dodging the blast of fire sent at him, Naruto closed the gap between them. His rock-covered fist went straight for her head, but the Avatar brought both arms up to block the attack. Though she was pushed back, Korra tanked the attack easily. Naruto went in for another attack, but was pushed back by a jet of flames from Korra's mouth. Korra quickly jumped back and threw a wall at Naruto, but the blonde just burst through with ease. Arms swinging, Korra had to use the fact that she was slightly faster than him to her advantage. Every punch he sent she just barely dodged. Water-bending training, allowing her to be as flexible and fluid as can be. Upon finding an opening, Korra sent a fire-infused punch to Naruto's stomach, burning through his shirt and reddening his skin. Though Korra had landed a hard blow, it left her head exposed. Now, it would have been very easy for Naruto to land a knockout blow, but he instead moved back. Naruto let the rock armor fall to the ground. Look who's got some moves, Naruto smirked. He looked down at the burnt shirt, frowning at the bad memory it brought up. I would love nothing more than to continue this fight, but I have a job to do. I was just about to get into the zone, Korra said as she bounced about on her. I have police stuff to do later, and I don't want to get hurt, Naruto said with a sigh. Hey, if you're done here, let's go out to eat, my treat. Yeah, I can eat, Korra said excitedly. Let me freshen up and we can head out. Ait, Naruto nodded as Korra left for a much-needed shower. The blonde Beifong turned to the form of Bolin, who was slowly getting to his feet. You all right there, champ? Yeah, I'm good. Bolin groaned out as he held his stomach. Fun fact, our bodies, earthbenders, that is, are built to withstand punishment. The more we're hit, the tougher we become. Naruto said to Bolin, who was listening intently, You see, the secret is in our stance. A firm stance will make you unshakable. I get it, it looks cool throwing bicycle kicks and all that stuff, but master the firm stance. We are earthbenders, and the very earth is our weapon. Always make as much contact with earth as you can. I see, Bolin nodded. And I noticed you practice with those little rings, Naruto said as he held out his hand. The earth rings slowly floated towards him and began to orbit around him. Try going to the outskirts of the city and lifting some heavier weights. Once you practice with those, these will be easier. All right, Bolin said with a grin. So if I do this, I'll be just like you? You bet, Naruto said with a thumbs up. I'm done freshening up, Korra said as she walked towards the two. Let's go then, Naruto smiled. Damn, Fire Nation food is so spicy, Korra groaned as she chugged a large cup. Then don't eat it, Naruto suggested. The two had stopped at a small Fire Nation restaurant run by an old couple. But it's so good, moaned Korra as she grabbed a piece of meat and threw it into her mouth. This meat is so thick. That's what she said, Naruto whispered. What was that? Nothing, Naruto quickly said. So, have you made any new friends apart from the pro-bending brothers? I have, Korra said, as she wiped some sauce from her mouth. Get this, so I was on my way to the pro-bending arena when this girl almost hit me with a little vehicle with two wheels on IAT. You mean a moped? Yeah, sure. Anyway, this girl almost hit me and then asked me out. We're having lunch tomorrow, Korra said, stuffing more meat in her mouth. Oh, is that like a date or something? Naruto asked with a raised brow. Should I be jealous? Nah, don't worry about it, Korra said as she swallowed. Pause. I'm just excited to make a new friend. I'm glad I still have a chance, Naruto smiled as he took a sip from his beer. As long as you keep stuffing me with meat, we're good, Korra said with a wink. I'll try my best, Naruto nodded. The two would spend 2 more hours before going their separate ways. I can't believe he's late for his own raid, Lin Beifong huffed. She was in her metal-bending armor with 10 other metal benders dressed the same. She turned to the only chi-blocker among them. Did he tell you where he was going after? No, ma'am, Yorichi said, dressed in dark, tight clothing, but he will be here. A few minutes of silence later and the sound of metal cables firing was heard. Everyone turned to see Naruto swing in and land next to his mother. Yeah, I know, Naruto muttered. So everyone, I couldn't find my old uniform. Naruto laughed. He was dressed much like your average metal bender in her task force, and honestly, Lin didn't like it. Her baby boy was special, and he needed to look it. Okay, one of the red dust distributors is that building over there, Naruto said as he pointed at a particular building that had the lights on. A few thugs stood guard on the outside, laughing loudly. They don't even bother hiding what they are doing. Those fucks are in for a rude awakening. Let's show them that Republic City is under our protection. With that, Naruto dived off the roof, the other metal benders following suit. Hey man, how have you been? A thug asked his friend. I'm fine, thanks for asking, the other thug said with a grin. You know, most people don't ask men how they are, but most of the time we are not fine. That's why the suicide rate for men is high. Suddenly, a metal cable wrapped around the man. What the? He was promptly pulled into the sky, where his body met Naruto's feet. The blonde Beifong then used him as a landing pad. What the hell? One thug growled as he fired a flame. Naruto calmly dodged the blast. The blonde then countered with firing a cable that wrapped around the man's outstretched arm. Get over here! Naruto then pulled him in and delivered an uppercut. Through a crude ice spear at the blonde, Naruto easily caught the spear and threw it. Ah! The man roared in pain as the spear stabbed into his stomach. Naruto then turned to the door as the rest of his squad dropped. With Lin to his right and Yoruichi left, the blonde held out his hands and put them together. He then separated them just as the walls on the other sides of the door blast inwards. All right, capture as many as you can, Naruto said, as ran into the building through the large holes in the walls. Shit, it's the pigs, one roared as he fired a jet of flames. Pigs? That's just rude, Naruto said, dodging the flames. He then held out his hands as large rocks shot upwards. The blonde then fired them, hitting 3 targets in the face. The entire place was in chaos, with the drug-dealing thugs either fighting or trying to run away. That just means they like you, Yoruichi yelled as she ran towards an earthbender, dodging under his swing as she went for his pressure points, hitting some in his legs and sending him falling face first onto the ground. Earthbenders were basically useless without a firm stance. Focus. You too? Lin yelled as she fired a cable that wrapped around a fleeing suspect. She then pulled him straight into a kick. Like mother like son, Yoruichi chuckled. I have no idea what you are talking about, Naruto said as he stomped on the ground, a large circular rock cutting out of the ground shooting upwards. He then kicked it at a random guy's gut. We are nothing alike. Lin then caught the same rock with her bending and threw it at another guy's stomach. Rah! A roar caught everyone's attention as they all turned to a bold man who had grabbed a handful of red powder and inhaled it. Well, shit, Yoruichi whispered, as the man's form began to bulge, his body growing grotesquely as it outgrew his clothes. The man let out a breath that was like a torrent of fire. I am the strongest, he roared as his hands caught fire. Ah, shit, Naruto said as Lin bended a large rock into the man's nuts. The man roared in pain as his hands went to his balls. Shit. Naruto winced at the brutal attack. Don't just stand there. Let's take him down, Lin yelled as stomped her foot on the ground and threw a large rock at his head. The man quickly brought his hands up and blocked it. Naruto quickly ran at the guy, every piece of metal in the room being pulled towards the blonde. He then used his bending to push off the ground and into the air as the metal surrounded him and covered him in crude armor. The man looked up at Naruto and fired a breath attack. Naruto tanked it as he fell, before delivering a devastating punch to the man's head. The doped-up firebender stumbled, only for Yoruichi to appear behind him and hit him in the shoulder blades. The firebender threw a punch, or rather tried to, his eyes widening at the fact that he couldn't move. Before he could blink, Naruto had already thrown a metal-enhanced punch to his face, breaking his nose. Before he could cry out in pain, another punch dislocated his jaw. Then another went to his stomach, making him bend down before an uppercut sent him flying back. Damn, boss, Yoruichi whistled as she stared at the knocked-out giant. Sometimes I forget what a powerful bender you are. Naruto shrugged and the armor fell off his body. We still have to round up everyone. Got it, Yoruichi said before dashing away. Good work, Beifong, Lin said as Naruto smiled. Why, thank you, Beifong. The blonde smirked as his mother punched him in the... We did good work today. Hopefully the rest of the case goes smoothly, Lin said as she folded her hands. Bastards think they can bring this shit into our city. We got this, Naruto said. Republic City is under our protection. By the way, I have a present for you, Lin said as she began walking, with Naruto quickly falling in step next to her. But since you'd rather hang out with your little girlfriend, I guess I can throw it away. Wait, what present? Naruto asked only to be ignored. Seriously, what present? Lin Beifong didn't say a thing, she simply walked off.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for future updates. Your support means the world to me.